All right. So in the efforts of keeping things moving, I'm going to tell you a little bit about Team RWB, but more about what we believe in and how we kind of see the problem set that we're talking about today. So incredible day so far, and it's not lost on me that I think I'm the last man standing before the next last man standing before dinner and a movie. So I'm going to try to get through this as fast as possible. But I want to continue to expand this dialogue that we're working through today when we look at the holistic approach that we're talking about when it comes to veteran health and wellness, right? We're looking at promoting community, methods to seek purpose, and the ability to rekindle the strengths that, quite frankly, we all earned in the service. So I want to ask all of you right now 2 questions, right? And they're not rhetorical. Do you want a good life? And do you want to be the best version of yourself today? All right, so I want you to think about that. But what I also want you to think about is I didn't ask you, do you deserve a good life? And do you deserve to be the best version of yourself today? These are 2 completely different sets of questions. And oftentimes in this community, I've seen, both prior to transitioning and transitioning, that the narrative is we as veterans focus on that second set of questions, and we believe that we don't have to focus on the first one. And I think there's a big difference there. I think there's a big difference between wanting something and deserving something. And I think the difference is critical. The difference between wanting something and deserving something is the difference between taking action or sitting back and waiting for somebody else to take action on your behalf. It's the difference between taking personal accountability, taking ownership, finding your purpose, using the tools and the information that we all learned today, and putting that into action for our own personal well-being. It's not waiting for everybody up here on the stage to do that for us. For me, it comes down to focusing on the want and not sitting back and focusing on what you think you deserve. So I'm pretty sure everybody in the room probably answered yes. Yes, Sully, we want a good life. Yes, I want to be the best version of myself today. The hard truth is, it requires you to take action. It requires you to commit, and it requires you to find a purpose in that being what you want to do each and every day, and it's going to be a challenge. But I got some good news. You're not alone. All the folks here today have some great ideas on how you can get after it. I got some even better news, and I'm going to even say it's great news. If you're a veteran, you're uniquely qualified and prepared for this challenge. The mission ahead is a good life. It's a better version of yourself, but it requires you to focus personally on your physical and mental health and well-being. It means putting in the work to get stronger each and every day so you can enjoy those good days and push through the bad ones. But I'm telling you again, as veterans, there's a silver lining, right? I'm telling you, your service uniquely prepared you for it. The bad news is, we as veterans find ourselves in a country that's barreling headlong, like face first, into a health and wellness crisis. And unfortunately, we as veterans find ourselves, for the first time in US history, the very first time in US history, more unhealthy than our civilian counterparts. We're surrounded by this narrative, on top of that our service didn't uniquely prepare us for the good life or the best version of ourselves, but it stole from us. It damaged us. It left us broken, and we're unable to do the hard things anymore to achieve that good life that we want. So how do we turn it around? How do we as veterans live our best lives? We do it by believing that we are uniquely prepared. We're ready to put in the hard work, and we get back to that idea that all of us that served in the military understands that we know what right looks like, and we're willing to put in the work to do it each and every day. I think we as veterans are uniquely positioned to be the ones to make that our new mission and our next mission. We talked about it over and over and over today, that we need purpose. We need this idea of keeping ourselves personally accountable each day. And I'm telling you, if you served, you're answering yes, I want a good life, but you're also the type of person that's answering, I want a better life for everybody in this room. And I'm charging you all today that, an organization like Team RWB and the other veteran support organizations that are out there are there to help you serve and to be that example of what right looks like for an American public that desperately needs it. So, Team RWB, what are we all about, right? And I'm not going to talk specifically to the slides, but it's enriching veterans' lives. And we do that by building community based on physical fitness and this idea that, yes, at 6:30, 7, whenever it was in your service, that you started every single morning with that left face and move or drop and give me 20, that the military actually had it right. The dopamine hit, the idea of getting face to face with the people that might be having some problems and hearing what they went through last weekend at home, or maybe smelling that alcohol on their breath. All those things that we did from 6 to 7:30 every single morning prepared us for the day ahead. It made us mentally strong for the other things that we were going to be tested on throughout our military career. And RWB thinks you should embrace that and continue to do it in your civilian life. Now, a lot of us think, oh, Team RWB, you're the largest running club in America. What are you really doing for veterans besides making them wear a crazy red shirt with a big eagle on it? It looks like you guys are having a lot of fun. It looks super patriotic, but don't you guys know we don't have to do that anymore? Don't you know we don't have to put in the work? Don't you know we deserve to take a rest? And I'm saying, nope. What we're all about is wanting you to want it, and wanting you to want it as a part of your community where you find yourself at now. We encourage our members to be a part of that community. Our community is built up of 20% civilian population, of which half are people that have never served and don't have family members in the service. It's an open community that encourages everybody to kind of suffer together and to get after the problems that will make the next day a little bit better. So you can see the why on the slide, but for us, again, it's getting after that sense of purpose, getting after your health, and doing things each and every day a little bit better. But for us, it's also there was a question of Team RWB, can you prove it? So last February to July, we took 60 new members, and we decided to do a study. We gave them activity tractors. We wanted to be able to see their sleep, their HRV, their VO2 max. We measured the BMI. We made them get on a scale, and we required them to take this academically reviewed self-assessment that we called the Enriched Life Scale to see where they were at in their physical and mental well-being. And we took their blood. We wanted to see the blood markers and to see where they were at. The sad news is, and to my point earlier, we found out that these veterans that had decided to raise their hand and get back after some work had some very concerning baselines. So every single one of them had higher inflammation markers. They had concerning cholesterol levels, elevated blood sugar, and over 9% of the participants were overweight or obese. So, we knew we had a problem. But then again, after 6 months, that's where we sought to see something very interesting. And what we saw is that the veterans responded to the challenge, right? There was a measurable improvement. There was a significant transportation, and this was done without drugs, without clinical care, but it required commitment, setting goals, getting off the couch, and being okay that your community was gonna tell you it's okay to fail, it's okay to succeed, and it's okay to lean on us when you're working through this journey. 41% of the participants reduced their at-risk biomarkers. 33% optimized their overall biomarkers. 68% improved their BMI with an average reduction of 2% across the board. Cardiovascular health improved in all participants. 80% of the participants improved in their enriched life scale. In the physical side of that, we saw a 25% increase across the board, and in their self-assessed mental health scores in a 6-month period, we saw a 21% increase. Using their wearable data, we saw a 52.1% increase in exercise intensity, and most of all, and probably most importantly, especially with the doctors in the house, sleep quality was improved with a 45.8% better sleep efficiency when members of our community got out, sought purpose with some people, and just got moving every single day. So I think the data proves it. The numbers I quoted do not show a broken, a damaged, a ruined population of service members. I think what it shows is that underlying, and I'm going to use the word that I think some people said is triggering, is that we're all still warriors, We all have this strength within us that just needs to be rekindled, it needs to be redirected, and again, it needs to be given some purpose. When we turned away from this victimization narrative, we found people started to thrive and live a better life. I'm a big fan of team sports, and I lived my entire life for the love of, sports movies, quite frankly. I think people that know me know that, I like to say that life is a team event. You don't always get to choose the teams that you're on, but you do get to choose how you're going to participate in the lessons you're going to take to that next team. So not surprisingly, as I end this thing, I'm going to take a Coach Carter quote. It's a great movie. And in that movie, he asks his players, what is your deepest fear? I'm going to change it a little bit. What is our deepest fear as a veteran? And this is my answer, and I think it's the Team RWB answer. Our greatest fear is not that our service left us broken. Our greatest fear is that the strength we forged, the resiliency we earned, might go unrecognized, even by ourselves. We fear embracing the truth that the battles we fought, whether on the field or within, have equipped us with unparalleled tools for navigating life's challenges. Living as a victim dims the light of our potential, but stepping into the narrative of empowerment, leadership, adaptability, and courage, this is where our true power lies. When we stand tall to realize that our service sharpened us and not scarred us, we give others permission to do the same. I think we're all still warriors. I think we are forged by a commitment to be the best version of ourselves every single day. I think a lot of us, if not the majority of us, always wanted to be that person that exemplified what right looks like. But I think if you served, you never wanted to do it alone. And it always took a team. And if you had a team behind you, you were going to be stronger and things were always going to be better. As veterans, I don't think we're defined by what has happened to us, but I think we are defined on how we rise, lead, and persevere. That strength doesn't just belong to us. I think it belongs to everybody around us, and I think we have the potential to inspire this entire nation to address the issues that they're all facing. We've been talking about veteran suicide all day today. But within the doctor community, their rates of suicide for those that are going through residency are higher than most veterans, but we never hear about that. There's college athletes. If you looked at their charts, the rates of suicide and suicidal ideations are on the rise. It's all tied together, and I think as veterans, we represent the majority of that population that we fought to serve. And I'm asking you all today to take that commitment to take that mission focus that you once had and to focus on yourself first. Make yourself a priority. Want that better life for yourself, and then be that example for everybody else in the nation that we can lead them out of this fight. They deserve it just as much as you do, and I know you have that into you because you raised your hand to serve in the first place. So the data proves it. We at Team RWB kind of known it all along, but we're not damaged by our service. We were prepared by it. Thank you.